Hi, and welcome to another video by Get It Done Home Repairs. Today I'm going to show you how to change a plug on the wall. And the reason you're going to be changing them, sometimes outlets do go bad. In this particular case, you can see that this dust doesn't stay in here. It's very loose and it comes out. So we're going to be replacing it with a new one just to keep that from happening. All right, now the first thing you're going to do is you're going to go out to your fuse box, and as you can see, the light is on. We're going to come in and we're going to turn off the fuses so that we have the power is off in this box. You never want to work on a light switch or anything electrical without turning off the power first. This is an example of what kind of tools you're going to need. You're going to need possibly a Phillips head screwdriver. You're going to need a flathead screwdriver. You may need wire strippers, and we may need a pair of needle nose pliers to pull the wires out. All right, so first thing we're going to do now, let's go turn the power off, and then we're going to continue. Okay, now the first thing we do after we have the power turned off is we pull the plug out. We take out that one flat screw right there, just like that. Take our cover off, and then we're going to remove that screw right there and that screw right there, and that'll loosen up the outlet itself. Now sometimes you'll see there's a lot of paint that's on the top of it like this, so you may need to just take the paint out so that you have a nice slot for the screwdriver to fit in, and then we can take this screw out. Same thing down on the bottom here. We're going to clean the paint out of the thread just like that. Now this will be trash. We're not going to use that again. Same thing here. Now everything, once you have these screws out, this outlet will then be loose, but I just want to point one thing out before you pull this outlet out. You see how the paint is around the top over here and down on the bottom here? Don't just pull it out. Take a razor blade or a utility knife and just go around it just a little bit so that you don't damage the paint on the wall as well. So let me grab a utility knife and we'll come right back and we'll cut that and we'll pull it right out. All right, we just go around the top just like this to loosen up the paint that's around here. And you can see it comes out nice and easy and you don't damage the wall itself. Okay, now we just take this and we pull this out so we can get in here to the screws in the back of it. Just like that. Now we know we have the power is turned off, so we don't have to worry about anything there. Alright, so let's take these out and we'll continue. Okay, now these, you can see these wires here. When you buy a replacement, they actually have screws on it like this that your wires can connect either here or they can go in through these holes here as they are right here. But now we need to take those wires out of here. And the way you do that is you could take a paper clip and you can go in through here and try to loosen it and get it out. Sometimes a paper clip is just not thick enough. In this particular case, it's not thick enough. So we're going to take something like this, put it through this hole right here, and you just push it down and it releases the wires. Sometimes they're in there pretty tight, and it is a problem trying to get them out, but if it is, it's no problem. Now this wire, we're just going to pull it. As you can see, it's not coming out. So it's stuck in there pretty good. That's when you take your wire clippers like this, just come in here like that and cut it. Just like that. Okay? Now, I want to point this out to you as well. Make sure that where you took these wires out, they go back in the same way. So we're going to have the plug the same exact location. The ground is on the bottom, the ground is on the bottom. So these wires are going to plug right back in here as well. Now before you do that, you got to take these screws here and you're going to screw them all the way back in as far as they can go. All right, we're going to snug them down. We're going to do the exact same thing on these wires here. And now we'll just snug these wires down, these screws as well. Now if your wires on here are looped around these screws, then obviously you would unscrew the screw here, or on this one here, unscrew it, and then you would reattach it here. All right, but it's not the case. We're going to take this wire right here, we're going to take this one and put it right back into where it came out, just like that, nice and tight. But now this wire here, we had to shorten this wire, remember? That's not long enough. So what we need to do now is take a pair of wire strippers like this, come around here, like that, and we're just going to go on here, and we're going to cut down through the insulation, just give it a little twist like that, and then we pull off the insulation to expose a new wire. Then we take the wire and we put it right into that hole there. You push it in until it pushes tight, and then you push it and you feel it lock in, and you tug them and they're nice and tight. Now we're going to take this and we're going to rotate it this direction here, just out of the way. We're going to come back over here. We're going to disconnect these wires here now. Now this one here, you can see this is how long this is. This is a little bit too long. This should be shorter. That wire should not be exposed. So we are going to take part of that off. We put this in through here, push it down, and then we can pull that wire out. We're going to do the exact same thing on this one here. Push it in there, push it in, and we can pull this one out as well. Okay, we're just going to leave this down here. Now we are going to shorten these just a little bit because they are a little too long. So we're going to cut off just a little bit here with our wire cutters. Same thing on this one here too. Okay, now we're going to take these wires and we're going to put them right back in where they previously came on, and turn it around this way here. I'm going to take this one, I'm going to put it right in there. I'm going to push it in. I'm going to grab it with our needle nose pliers and push it, and you can see it's locked in. We'll do the exact same thing on this one. Turn it. We're going to make it so it's straight. Now we'll take this. I'm going to put it in right through here, push it in, and you can feel it locks in, nice and tight. This one is in, and then all four of the wires are now locked in tight. Last thing we're going to do is we're going to come over here to this ground wire here. We're going to unscrew this ground wire here, and we're going to reattach it to our new one. Just like that. And then we're going to come around over here, and this is our ground wire right here, connects on here. Now when you tighten this up, you see the way that this rotates here? When you tighten the screw, you see how it turns clockwise? You want to make sure that when it's tightening up, that the loop is like this around here, because now as it tightens up, it pulls this in tighter. Okay, so we're going to push this open a little bit, put it around here, just like that. We're going to pull this wire up a little tighter, like this, and then we're going to take that loop right there, and we're just going to squeeze that loop, just like that. Then we'll tighten up this one. As you're rotating it, it's going to pull that open part of the loop tighter. All right, nice and tight. Make sure it's tight. I can't tell you how many of these I opened up only to find that these screws were loose inside here. Okay, so now we're going to put this back in, the way that we took it out. We're going to rotate this way. We're going to take these wires and we're just going to hold our finger in the back and create a little loop in there, just like that. And now we're going to take this, make sure your ground is facing down as the previous one came out, and we're going to put it back in the exact same way, okay? We'll push it in place. We're going to take our screwdriver and we're going to catch these screws up on top. We're only going to catch them a couple of threads right now, just like that. And then we're going to do the exact same thing down in the bottom as well. And now once you have both screws caught, you can just take your outlet, push it in a little bit, just like that, and then we'll tighten these screws down evenly. Okay, the last thing we do is we put our cover back on like this, and then we catch our two screws that hold the cover on, just in here. We're going to catch one screw first, and then we'll catch our second screw in here as well. Okay, we're going to go turn our power supply on, and we're going to make sure it works. Okay, so now that we have the power turned back on, you can see it works properly. The plug is now nice and tight, and it doesn't fall out as it did before. All right, I will point this out to you. This is the older style. There's two different styles you have. As you can see, this one here has a different cover. It's a square outlet, where this one here is round around the top like that. So make sure you have the right ones, and that's it. This job is done. All right, as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.